presentation of WGN Sports.
Seatbelt on. We are just about underway. Stoney, I'll get there soon, okay, buddy? I know you have some good stories for the first inning. I hope I will be there for first pitch. It's going to be close. Great game, fun game. It's like 1,000 degrees, or I was just in a little swimming pool. I don't know which. So see you soon, and good luck.
Very warm, as you can tell. Jason is on his way and getting here as quickly as he possibly can. But in the meantime, we're going to hold down the ship and tell you about one of the hotter of the Sox players, and that is Jose Abreu. Let's take a look at what he did last night. He came up with a couple of base hits, and Abreu's been red hot. This one through the left side. This is a single. He followed it up a little later on with a double down the line, and Jose is still looking for 2 more runs driven in to give him 100. But in the meantime, he's trying to hit 300. He's fairly well above it at this point. And as you can see, 36 and 107 in his rookie year. Then it was 30 and 101, 25 and 100, 31 this year with 98 to go with it. You have to believe that Jose Abreu is going to get there, and hopefully he will. And maybe he'll get there tonight as soon as Jason gets here. I think Jose is going to save it for him. Let's take a look at the third baseman from the Kansas City Royals, and that's Mike Moustakas, who has the all-time Royals home run record, and here it is. This is number 37 in Toronto, and Moustakas hits a line drive rocket out in the ballpark. It's a great year to have a great year because he's going to be a free agent. Somebody is going to pay him substantially if Kansas City doesn't. So as you can see, with Moustakas at the top, Balboni, Gaetti, Mayberry, Palmer, and Danny Tartabull rounding it out. So stay with us. We'll be back with more after these messages. a brief tour of the north part of Florida. And he is wending his way here. As soon as he gets here, we're obviously going to leave him exactly where he is, to my left. So last night, he had to get down to Tallahassee, Florida. This is the finale of the game, and a wonderful conclusion it was. And Jason decides that it's time to leave, and taking his wardrobe with him, he gets ready to head down to Tallahassee, where he called a Florida State NC State game. And this is on the way to the airport. No rush really to get your plane, seeing as Jason was on a private plane. As you can see, the signature, flight support, goes out to plane I think he owns. I'm not sure exactly, but I think he owns the plane. And yeah, he's able to take it and get there on time.
You guys want to wait outside where it's more comfortable. They got this is your first flight.
Doing a little homework on a flight, which is a good thing to do, especially if you're going to do a football game, which is fairly labor intensive. And of course, when you're that keyed up, it's always a good time to take a nap. So now he's in Tallahassee and wending his way to the hotel. And you've heard of Where's Waldo. Well, this isn't exactly Where's Waldo. We have a pretty good idea where Jason is, and hopefully he gets here in the not-too-distant future. In the meantime, the ball club celebrated just a wonderful performance, a great ending to the ball game last night. And stay with us, because it's Royals White Sox coming up after these messages. Delivers the fastest internet and the most Wi-Fi coverage throughout your home. So the Sox have taken the field, and we'll take a look at how Ned Yost is going to line up his Royals for the second of a three-game series. Whit Merrifield leading it off. He made the final out at second base in a rundown. Then it's Lorenzo Cain, Melky Cabrera, Eric Hosmer, who's tearing it up this year. Good year for him also. He's going to be a free agent. With Salvador Perez, Mike Moustakas, Brandon Moss, Alcides Escobar, and Alex Gordon, a four-time Gold Glover in left field, hitting ninth. The defense and how they'll line up behind Dylan Covey. It's Willie, Adam, and Abasail in the outfield, with Sanchez, Anderson, Moncada, and Davidson in the infield. Kevin Smith gets a nod behind the plate, and Dylan Covey looking for his first White Sox win on the hill. Been a very tough year. He was injured a good part of it. You see the record, the ERA, not even close to where he would like. He is a Rule 5 draft. The Sox kept him around and making his 11th start of the year. The umpires for the game tonight. The crew chief, Paul Emmel, has the plate. Then it's Chad Whitson, Scott Barry, and Brian Onora first to third. So at 91 degrees at game time, Ned Yost, seeing his ball club lose a very tough ball game yesterday. They had a 6-2 lead in that one, only to see it slip away, and Kansas City comes in 3 games under 500. The Sox, on the other hand, have jumped over Detroit for 4th place in the division, and Don Cooper and Rick Renteria talking it over. So Whit Merrifield's going to step in, hitting .291. He's hit 18 home runs, driven in 73. He's an all-purpose player who is getting a lot of starts, mostly at second base, although we've seen him in the outfield. And here is Dylan's first pitch. Good fastball for a strike. Merrifield uses the whole field. So my wandering partner, Jason Benetti, just landed in Chicago, and he is on the way. In the meantime, here at the ballpark, Merrifield is 0-2. The key for Dylan Covey tonight is to get the curveball over the plate. If he can do that, the straight change is good enough, and getting the curveball over is going to keep the Kansas City Royals, a contact team, from just sitting on his fastball. He did. He got him. Good breaking ball. And just like that, Merrifield is out number 1. Kevin wants it low and away at 0-2. That's exactly where Covey throws it. And Merrifield down on strikes. Tried to check it up and couldn't, and that brings up Lorenzo Cain. Cain hitting .303, 14 home runs, 48 driven in. It's been a good average year for him. This game number 148. The RBIs, not what he would like at 48 of them. And he takes a fastball for a strike. Well, we're all happy to know that Jason Benetti has indeed landed in Chicago and is getting here as quickly as he can. That leaving the count at 1-1. Outfield shifted just a touch with Adam Engel over right of center. Big gap in left center. That one right back up the middle. Tough play. Moncada on the flip, and they get him at first base. Yoan's been making that play consistently. He's very accurate with that underhand toss, very much like his idol who we crafted his game after, and that's Robinson Cano of the Seattle Mariners. This little chopper up the middle gets over the head of Dylan Covey. That turns it into a tough play. Good charge. The break was it didn't hit the bag, and the flip across, and they've got him. So quickly, 2 up and 2 down. That brings up Melky Cabrera, hitting .292, 17 home runs, 83 driven in, and he looks at a high change. Melky had 3 hits last night, scored a run, drove in a run, and is 3 for 4. There you see a modified shift. It's 3-0. Eric Hosmer in the on-deck circle. And takes a fastball right down the middle. There's a look at one of the 5 free agents they have on this ball club. Little chopper, backhand. Moncada's got it and gets it across for a 1-2-3 first inning. Sox coming to bat, and we'll be back. hot, leading it off. Then Yoan Moncada, who's been pretty hot also, followed by Abreu, Avi, Matt Davidson, Kevin, Yolmer Sanchez with Willie and Adam rounding it out. The defense and how they'll line up behind Danny Duffy. It's Gordon, Kane, and Cabrera in a very good outfield for them. Moustakas, Escobar, Merrifield, and Hosmer in the infield. Salvador Perez once again behind the plate. And Danny Duffy on the hill. There you look at the numbers. ERA pretty good at 3.71. Opponents hitting 251. Just a few less hits than innings pitched. And Tim Anderson getting ready to lead it off with a 263 batting average. He's hit 17 home runs, driven in 55. Look at some pretty good numbers this year. Danny Duffy has really struggled against our Sox. He's 0-3 with an ERA just under 10. It's a good straight change by Duffy. He's pretty much a fastball slider pitcher. The straight change has gotten a whole lot better as he's changed the grip on it. So now he's able to get it around the plate. He's got a good fastball. It's in the mid-90s. And when he's right, he's one of the more formidable left-handers. Little chopper left side. Tough play for Escobar. He pours it across and gets him by a step. We'll take a look at our ball club in the starts by Duffy and everybody else. See, no luck this year with our boys, but against others, 8-6. That's pretty good. The ERA, we told you it was inflated, but against the others, it's under 3. And there you look at the rest of the numbers, commensurate with the pounding that the Sox have put on Danny Duffy. So Yoan Moncada will step in, hitting from the right side, hitting 237, 8 home runs, 22 driven in. Last night, Moncada hit a 2-run homer in the 4th inning. There was 2 2-run homers. Matt Davidson had one. Then the lineup rolled around and Moncada hit one out. Line drive base hit. We'll take you back to the 4th inning last night. Turned out to be a 5-run 4th, courtesy of a couple of 2-run homers, and this being one, a blast. This one just to the right of center field, a no-doubter. Very warm night at the park. The park was very lively, and the Sox took advantage of it. That'll bring up Jose Abreu, hitting 305, 31 and 98 on the power numbers, searching for those elusive last 2 to get into triple digits for the 4th time in 4 years starting a career. Only 2 other people have ever done it. And that's a balk. I think it was called by Paul Emmel, the crew chief. Let's take a look again. Apparently Paul felt that he did not step toward first base. In any event, Moncada's at second in scoring position for Jose. That was Dave Island, the pitching coach, sitting next to Ned Yost, trying exactly to figure out what Duffy did. Sliced off to the right. Kansas City comes into this at 75 and 78. They've lost 6 of their last 10. And what a stretch of games they figured would propel them to a playoff contender has not worked quite that way. Minnesota leads by 3.5 games for the 2nd wild card spot. Got that fastball in the inside part of the plate. And Jose fouled it off, so he's in an 0-2 hole. One chop foul, and the count holds. Duffy, originally a third-round draft pick of these Royals. They got him back in 2007. He's been on the DL a few times, but when he's healthy, he is very difficult to deal with. There you look at the major league record, and last year Duffy was 12-3. Right back up the middle. That's going to be RBI number 99 for the big man. So the base hit, the balk, and Jose doing what Jose's done for the 4 years of his career, taking it right back up the middle and producing an early run. This is what Jose does and has been doing specifically the last year and a half or so, and that is going outside the strike zone in a situation where he can drive home a run. You don't want to be taking too many close pitches because you are the premier run producer on your ball club. Even though Avi's having a good year, Jose is the man, and he expanded his strike zone and turned into gold. That'll bring up Avi. Garcia hitting .330, 1777 on the power numbers, and fouls off a straight change. That one got a piece of Perez. He left the ball game last night after taking a foul ball right off his mask. He had to leave the ball game because his jaw was sore. But we're happy to conclude by him starting tonight that there were no concussion issues. That evens the count at 1-1. Outfield, a couple of steps to the right of center. And the big gap for Avi is left center. You see Kane just a couple of steps over, not a drastic shift. Change. This time he got it up. He got very fortunate that Avi fouled it back. I talked with Avi before the game today. He was awarded the Heart and Hustle Award representing our Sox. Well deserved for Avi, who's having a banner year. Baseball Players Alumni Association gave out that award, and the presentation was on the field before the game. Count evens at 2-2. Avi's talking about what every player has to go through, which is you're going to get banged up, you're going to play sore. That's just comes with the territory, and Avi is one of those guys that's going through it. Good straight change. Avi down on strikes, and that's 2 outs. Bring up Matt Davidson. Davidson had a 2-run homer last night, also in the 4th inning. That preceded the base hit and the 2-run homer by Moncada. Good power year for Matt Davidson at 26 and 67. When you consider he's been hurt, it's a very productive year. Watch out. That one goes right over the Sox dugout. And hopefully everybody is okay. Well, he does have a souvenir. Normally what they want to do, because that one is prep, you can see all the pine tar on the bat. That's actually prep. Sometimes they'll change. They'll give the youngster a bat and give Avi back the one he's already prepared. But Matt Davidson rather said, you know what? Keep that souvenir. Everybody is healthy, and I'll get another one. Expect to get a few things at the ballpark, notably hot dogs and popcorn and peanuts and all of those things. You don't expect to get a souvenir bat. But the fortunate part about it was everybody just kind of split, and that one fell harmlessly. 0-2 count on Davidson. Sox have a run in on the 99th. Run batted in for Jose Abreu. Fouled off to the right. Fans, now you can vote for your pick to click. Before each game, visit whitesox.com/picks and select your White Sox position player of the game. Jason took Adam Engel because he always does. I took Kevin Smith, Willie Garcia, chosen by the crew, and Tim Anderson. The fans have Tim tonight. Line drive base hit. Abreu with the play in front of him decides to just be content with staying at second base, so the inning stays alive on the third hit of the inning. Good piece of plate coverage. As he reaches down, takes it right over the head of Escobar into left center field. And the inning continues. Jose came around to second base and a little gimpy. Hopefully he is okay. He does want to play each and every day. As Kevin Smith fouled a fastball straight back. He's hitting .281, 3 home runs, 25 driven in. Talked to you before about the catching core, and the numbers are excellent for them. Omar Narvaez hitting .275. And Kevin Smith hitting .281. That's a nice platoon system behind the plate. Take a look at the bat, as right there it gets tangled up, and I think it left him with a bruise because he was trotting gingerly into second base. Little chopper to short. Escobar goes the easy way and the inning is over, but not before the Sox get a run on 3 hits, and we'll head to the top of the second. At WGNTV.com, presented by Nationwide's Jeff Vukovich. Go to jeffvuk.com or follow him on social media, because Nationwide is on your side. So it'll be the middle of the order to face Dylan Covey, who had a 1-2-3 first. Hosmer, Perez, and Moustakas await. Hosmer looks at a fastball down. He's hitting .320, 24 home runs, 91 driven in. It's been a banner year for Hosmer, as Kansas City has a decision to make on just exactly what they want to do, with 5 different key players eligible to play other places. Odds are overwhelming. They're going to make every effort to sign the man at bat, Eric Hosmer. They view him as pretty close to the face of the franchise, if not the face. 3-0 count on Hosmer, who's got surprising speed for a big guy. He's an excellent defensive first baseman. He runs fairly well. Takes that fastball for a strike. Hosmer's got big power to left center field. With that in mind, Adam Engel is over there. And a ground ball. Tim Anderson taking care of it. Throws it across for out number 1. Nice comeback by Dylan Covey. Salvador Perez walking up, hitting .269, 26 and 76 on the power numbers. Big numbers for a catcher, certainly. A guy who loves to play every day. But Ned Yost pretty much forced with Salvi to put him either a DH or just sit him down so he can limit his games. Very difficult to catch every day if Kansas City is the place you call your home park. Pop-up lifted down the line. Here comes Avi. Avi can't get to it. Great effort. Just came up a little short. So Perez has another life. On a day when he was awarded the Heart and Hustle Award, here's some of that hustle to go with a whole lot of heart. Nice effort by Avi, but unfortunately cannot get to it. Outfield and infield playing Perez as a dead pull hitter, which he normally is. Oh, 0-2 count on one of baseball's best catchers. Since the time he came up with these Royals, he has been a leader. And ideally, you want to have either your catcher or your shortstop as a leader of your ball club. That'll even the count at 2-2. And the count goes full. That one chopped foul, and as I live and breathe, it's Jason Benetti. Now he's got to take the unicorn in his chair out, and he's made it successfully against all odds.
Hi, pal.
How you doing?
Good. I'm a little overdressed.
Looked like you were sweating on the plane. That ball hit awfully hard as Avi goes all the way back to the track, looks up, and with a couple of steps to spare, makes the catch.
Hey, pal.
This is for you. This is the award. Yeah, Bean O'Malley said that that's one thing that you should probably have waiting for you when you come back, and there it is. Congratulations. Nice job today.
Thank you. Good job by you, by the way. I watched on the way here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Geez, I didn't know the signal went that far.
Oh, it does. The MLB app, we promo all the time.
Oh, man, that's it, huh?
Oh, it's lively.
Terrific.
You want to keep going? I mean, you're good at it.
Nah, this is not my lot. But Moustakas comes up. 5 in a row retired.
There's a sense we're doing it,
by
right?
Dylan Covey. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
This is a kind of a conversational play-by-play.
Oh, is that interesting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello.
Thanks for holding down the fort.
It's amazing you got here this quickly.
Wow. Jose's got number 99, I heard.
He does.
He's one away.
He is.
Great call by you.
It's pretty exciting. I'd love to see the big man get to 100 tonight.
So Moustakas takes a ball. Lovely night here at the ballpark.
89 degrees right now. It was a little warmer when we got here, but not a cloud in the sky, no rain, which is great.
You know, I was good the whole way, and then I almost bit it on the way into the booth.
Why?
I don't know. I was very excited to see you, and I almost came tumbling down the stairs.
That wouldn't have been good.
No, it would have been tragic.
And Molly didn't bring up your snacks tonight, so I didn't have a chance to eat whatever they usually give you. That I can see as a drawback.
Kobe on 2-2, and this is grounded to second base to retire the side. Moncada takes care of it, and it's 1-0. The Sox, that was Anderson, I believe.
TV.com and click on the Game Zone for the latest stats and information. Dodd Camera, family owned and serving Chicagoland for over 125 years. Dodd Camera, where the focus is on you.
So, bottom of the second inning, and 1-0 the lead for the Sox. Jose Abreu, RBI number 99, and here's Yolmer against Danny Duffy into center field for out number 1. Tell you what, traffic on 55 on the way in wasn't exactly the easiest.
No, not the time you were trying to get here, because everybody wants to come downtown for a lovely Saturday evening.
Yeah.
And you were one of them.
I was.
Yes.
Beautiful night here at the ballpark. Willie Garcia in the lineup today. 0 for 2 career against Duffy. And there's strike number 1.
Duffy's now retired the leadoff hitter in each of the last 13 innings. Sergio Romo, active leader at 14 straight innings, retiring the leadoff hitter, which is a good trick.
To second base, and Whit Merrifield for round number 2. Now, there's so much that goes into what you gain from retiring the leadoff hitter. I mean, not only do you throw at the beginning, but there's a comfort level, right?
Well, especially if that leadoff hitter happens to be a Blazer. I mean, if he's a guy that is going to make it difficult for you to keep your attention both at first base or second base and the plate, then yeah, walking him is a big distraction, but also can be very costly to you.
Here's Adam Engel, who has a pair of triples against Duffy this year.
So that's why you picked him.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I tweeted that I would like to have Willie Garcia as my pick to click.
Okay.
And then I'm watching the game in the car.
We'll give it to you.
Well, not anymore.
Oh, okay.
I don't. Well, I did. The crew took my guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I wonder how they found out that you wanted Adam Engel as badly as you did. That's a mystery.
Oh, you rat.
I think Adam's going to have a big night. That's why, as a reward for you getting here as quickly as you did, that's why I picked him for you.
This one is not going to find grass. Melky for out number 3. Quick inning for Duffy. And we'll play the third. 1-0 Sox. Welcome back to Guaranteed Rate Field. Jason Benetti, Steve Stone along with you, our entire crew. Steve did his Vin Scully routine for an inning and a half earlier, and it was superb.
I think that we certainly appreciate the job that Vin Scully did all of those years when you have the opportunity to do, for a very small part of time, to do that entire job that he did seemingly forever.
Just endless stories. About anything and everything.
And the old saying was always, nothing ever happens on the field when Vin is telling a story. Because, number one, they were well told. Number two, they were usually a little bit longer than most. And also because he was doing radio calls for a long time. You can have your own timing. TV, you need to follow the picture every now and then.
Every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
So 3 balls and a strike on Brandon Moss. Sox leading thanks to a Jose Abreu RBI in the first inning. If you just joined us like I did. There's Jose with number 99 on the verge of history. 25 home runs, 100 RBIs, 4 straight seasons to open his career when he gets one more. As there is out number 1 in the third. Good start for Dylan Covey tonight.
It really is. I mean, he's been aggressive. Yes, he's had some deep counts, but he's throwing strikes when he has to throw them. He came back from a big hole against a very dangerous home run hitter and just threw that fastball by him. Good late movement by Dylan. And he knows how important this start is for him because he came over as a Rule 5. He can see how much talent there is in this organization arm-wise. He realizes that this is one opportunity to show the brass that he should be considered for next year in some way, shape, or form.
In a left center base hit for Escobar, who had the home run in the third inning last night. This is do or die time for Kansas City in the wild card race.
Yeah, I think the ball game last night really hurt them.
You think so?
I mean, I don't say they're going to come out and play a whole lot of different baseball now, but that was a big loss for them. And they haven't been playing really good baseball. They won only 4 of their last 10. And this is a team that not too long ago thought they had the inside track at the wild card. Now they're outside looking in.
Mike Moustakas just a day ago wrote a story for the Players Tribune, the website where players go and write their own pieces, sort of like op-ed pieces. And he basically said, hey, Kansas City, we need you right now. And he was reminiscing to some of those days in the minors and the wild card season a couple of years ago when he felt like the city and this group came together. And he thinks there's one more run there, but you're right. Last night was a real tough one.
Anytime you have the kind of lead that they had and you see it slip away, they were up 6-2. This was a team for many years. If they got 6-2, it was game over. That's what it looks like in the wild card. It's the Yankees in Minnesota with Texas 3.5 back, Kansas City 4.5 back, and the Angels sandwiched in between, and they're going to provide the opposition after Kansas City leaves after the game tomorrow.
4-game series with the Angels coming up here at the ballpark Monday through Thursday. And by the way, you never want to fall off the graphic. If you fall off the wild card graphic the last couple weeks of the season, it's over for you.
There's a lot going on. I mean, this is really interesting. This has been a good race. I'm very proud of those Minnesotas because they weren't supposed to be here this year, and it appears they're going to get there.
It's truly remarkable to have traded your closer, to have essentially bought a starting pitcher and then traded him as well.
But
and
he was there for 5 days, so it's not like, I mean, they turned around all that quickly.
It is remarkable what they've done. 3-0 on Gordon. Hit in the air to right field. Avi makes the call and the catch, and 2 down. 2017 Chicago White Sox are presented by Guaranteed Rate. Buying a new home has never been faster or easier with the world's best digital mortgage. Go to rate.com now. So 1 on 2 out for Merrifield, who was thrown out at the plate last night as part of that game-ending double play. 9-2-4-6.
Pretty amazing. Just a thrilling finish to the ball game. This is normally a good base running team, and I'm talking about Kansas City, and Avi made 2 throws last night, the second of which was brilliant when you consider that he was literally on the ground, having stumbled after making the catch. And good tags at the plate by Omar twice.
I don't think either of us thought Avi had a chance in the world when he hit the turf.
That was, in looking at it, I mean, he came up, kept his composure, and still made a good throw.
Truly superb season for Avi Garcia.
In every aspect. He's really made drastic improvements.
Flat grounder to third, and Yolmer Sanchez across the diamond for out number 3. And that'll do it for Kansas City. The Royals get a base runner, nothing more. Bottom 3 next, and a 1-0 lead.
Subway to 97999 right now, and the 300th texter is going to win a $30 gift card to a Subway restaurant in the Chicagoland area. Subway, so much sandwich.
So much sandwich.
It's even more than that.
Really?
It's more than so much sandwich. It's lots of sandwich.
Well, I know you're the auditor of
yeah.
how much sandwich.
And how many meatballs are in that sandwich, pal. Don't short me. It's got to be 8.
Where is that written? That it has to be 8.
I don't know, it just seems like that is a comfortable, very comfortable amount of meatballs on a 12-inch sub.
It's right next to the pick-to-click rule book,
Very
where you
close.
get to choose. By the way, evidently before I turned the game on, you made reference to the fact that you were cheating at picks to click, because
No.
a number of people have tweeted at me and said, hey, Steve decided to cheat at picks to click and give you somebody that wasn't the person you chose.
No.
I'm happy to have Adam Engel, but I
And justifiably so.
thought you were pulling some sort of fast one by not giving me the guy that I picked.
Didn't know you picked him.
In ink on Twitter.
Did you really?
No, I didn't tweet at you with that one. That one's upstairs to Tim Anderson, who continues on that hit streak. He's 0 for 1 so far today, but a 13-game hit streak, a career high for Tim.
Reached out, got that straight change, able to foul it off. Outfield and infield, very much straight away. So you can see 13-game hitting streak, hitting .421. He has really started to heat it up. He came from a long way back batting average-wise.
He flicks this one into right field. That's a 14-game hit streak now for Tim Anderson.
This one falls in front of Melky. Inside out swing by Tim. We've talked about his lively bat quite a bit. Here it wasn't all that lively, didn't have to be, as he dropped it in front of Melky. And as you can see, that's the very hot zone and the not so hot zone. You see all the hits, middle in, something you would expect.
Tim's on for Yohan Moncada. And for Yohan, he has now 15 hits against left-handed pitching this year. 11 of them have come in the last month.
It's not a coincidence when you go to a lighter bat and you get more bat head speed through the strike zone. When you do make contact, it's going to be a little firmer. For Duffy, he had Tim leaning the wrong way, but it was a slow move. That was one to get his attention, not to pick him off. It's a good thing because he was leaning towards second.
'28-year-old Danny Duffy uses the off speed for a strike, 1-1.
That changeup has gotten better and better. When Duffy first started as a starting pitcher, he was a 2-pitch pitcher, slider, fastball, threw a very good fastball, still does. But the straight change has come to him as he's moved through his career, and now it's a big weapon for him.
In the air, center field. Lorenzo Cain for out number 1. Sox are trying to get in the way of both Kansas City and the Angels, and the Sox have damaged Kansas City already. Take a look at what the Royals have done recently against the Sox. The Sox have been over 500 against Kansas City down the stretch here. Jose Abreu with 1 out and 1 on, trying to go for that 100th RBI.
Well, there isn't a bad time for it. This would be a nice time for it. Outfield absolutely straight up for Jose.
How about 101 at the same time? Those are the guys that he wants to be in cahoots with 25+ home runs, 100+ RBIs the first 4 years.
Pretty impressive to join any club that only has 2 members, especially with the history of this game and the great players who have preceded Jose. been a remarkable run for him. And the scariest part, and Hawk and I were talking about this when we were on the road. I talked to a scout who told me he believes that Jose is by far the most improved player in the major leagues from start of this season to where we are now toward the end of September, which is amazing for a guy who was a star anyway.
This is not the two he was looking for. Escobar to Merrifield and Hosmer, and that's a double play, 6-4 to 3. We'll go to the fourth inning, 1-0 Sox. Cincinnati, Steve Stone, and I got to say, I feel like I'm a little overdressed for the proceedings here, so I'm going to get rid of the tie here.
Yeah, I was wondering. When I saw you getting on the plane in Tallahassee, it looked to me like you were a touch warm.
Oh my God.
Was it an air-conditioned booth?
1,000 degrees in the city, everywhere. This can go on the prize shelf.
And by the way, Tim Raines.
Yes.
Not the bobblehead, but the gift that we gave out on Tim Raines' Day.
An action figure.
This is
there.
here. Yeah,
That's
it's
nice.
really nice. And it can be yours if you win Sox Math.
And the mystery baseball. You'll never know who signed it.
We can never know who signed that mystery baseball.
Dylan Covey unscathed in the run column through 3. And there is a strike to Lorenzo Cain. He's got 25 stolen bases and was the second half of that double play last night. He was gunning for second base to get into scoring position behind the play. And a smart piece of work by Omar Narvaez, getting up after the tag of Merrifield to start that double play.
I'm not sure if we'll ever see anything like that again, but it was really entertaining to see it in the game last night.
Well, we said that last year with the triple play against the Rangers. We thought, oh, we'll never see something as zany as that.
I mean, the 6 players involved in the triple play. Yeah.
Prince Fielder halfway between third and home.
Yeah, it is.
Ball and 2 strikes on Cain. It's lined hard and foul. By the way, good news right now for Kansas City and the remainder of those wild card teams, with the Tigers up 3-2 on Minnesota in the 7th. The Yankees, though, have clinched that first wild card spot at the very least with the win over Toronto today.
New York didn't believe they were ready to win necessarily this year with that group of players. That's why Joe Girardi's done such a great job of keeping the Yankees afloat. sitting there comfortably behind Boston and going to make postseason play.
Anderson throws out Kane for out number 1. Here is your Sox Math question for tonight. Hashtag Sox Math, and it has to do with that double play. Total number of Sox players who touched the ball on that final play, not including the pitcher, and then the sum of the positional numbers, as denoted on the field, of the players involved in that play. Just add them together and you've got your answer. Sean Fennessy 42 was your winner yesterday.
In the meantime, no, not yet. I would have to recuse myself.
Why?
I don't know. I
you
heard
cheated
it.
picks to click. Why not cheat at Sox
It was
Math?
an interesting word. I don't know. But I'm recusing myself.
You're at Sox Parlor Games Mountebank. Two and 0 from Kobe to Cabrera.
Pretty good late movement on that fastball. Melky helped him out by expanding that zone.
Two balls and a strike. And that's a little bit high, so 3-1 on Cabrera. Royals last night didn't walk in the Sox series opening victory. And that's because they were up gunning early. Three and 2. The Milkman.
That was still one of the great T-shirts in the great T-shirt giveaway era, which we still have.
Yeah, it's still going into left field and playable for Garcia for out number 2. Talking like it's long past. Sox fans, we're giving back to you tomorrow for Fan Appreciation Day as the Sox take on the Royals. You got a chance to win a variety of prizes such as a suite for opening day 2018 and Beggar's Pizza for an entire year. More details to come. Visit whitesox.com to get your tickets today. What details are there to come? It's pizza for a year, right?
Well, there's a couple of things that you can accumulate. One would be pizza for the year, which is really good, especially if you ate, I don't know, 3 or 4 pizzas a day.
Stash them?
Yeah.
Put them away? If you had pizza for a year, seriously, pizza for a year, how many would you eat in the year? If that were the deal, you could have unlimited pizza for the year. And again, more details to come for tomorrow. But if you had unlimited pizza for a year,
I'd have one big one.
That's it?
I'd make it really big, though.
Like the size of China?
Something along those lines.
Where would you put it? You buy a new freezer?
Well, I would think that would be something that was very desirable to someone perhaps who had a family, where you could feed the entire family for the year on pizza.
Sorry, we had to sell the house. We now live inside a pizza. Three balls and a strike from Covey to Hosmer, who bounced out in the second inning. A little bit low, ball 4, so the first walk tonight in the 4th inning. So if you had to pick right now, who would you say has the best chance to catch Minnesota? And I know it's a long shot. Best chance to catch Minnesota for that second wild card spot. You can't say anybody. You have to pick somebody.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, the Angels and Texas sitting there 3.5 games back at this point. I had thought for the longest time that excuse me, the Angels would run them down. The Angels have been scuffling, and it looks to me like Paul Molitor has that Minnesota team where he wants them to be. I think they probably hold everybody off. I mean, it's a good running start at 3.5 games.
Into left field and well hit over Garcia's head and off the wall. Hosmer to third. He's going to try it. Hosmer is safe.
A gamble on sending Hosmer, but the gamble paid off. Selby crushes this ball, drives in his 77th run, and I'm not sure if they alerted Tim that there was a play at the plate, because he did get the throw. That part of it was good. He doesn't get off the best of throws, and there's no chance then to get a streaking Eric Hosmer.
I think I heard somebody in the dugout giving him some guff, saying, hey, old-time hook slide.
Whatever works.
One of our microphones down there. Here is Mike Moustakas. Mentioned that piece he wrote for the Players Tribune. He was reminiscing about winning a championship back in low A ball, but he was 19 years old, so everybody's got, you know, an adult beverage or two, and he was drinking sparkling cider. The Midwest League Championship Series. He said he enjoyed himself a little bit more during the celebrations of the majors.
I would think that that would be much more entertaining, considering that you're going to get a substantial ring if you win it, not to mention a few extra dollars.
And maybe pizza for a year.
Maybe. And a meeting at the mound.
Two balls, no strikes on Moustakas. And now 3-0. You were talking about pizza for a year. That's what it might look like if you were to have a giant pizza shaped like China.
A little more pepperoni, if you would, please. Next time you give me that Chinese pizza.
Down in the Malaysia
Yeah.
area. Into center field, base hit, and Engel can't come up with it, so Perez scores easily and the Royals take the lead.
I'm not thinking he's going to be able to score if Adam fields that ball cleanly, so we'll see. It is a single, a run batted in, and no error charged. So Moustakas with his first hit. Adam just thinking he still had the baseball, saw it get by him.
So Perez gets hydrated. And Adam Engel, who's been so sure-handed and so freely tracking of baseballs out there in center.
I think he just tried to, in his own mind, throw it before he caught it. And that is obviously a mistake, more times than not, a mistake of youth. I think if he comes up with it cleanly, I think he's got him at the plate, because Salvi doesn't run real well these days.
And he was in medium to short center field.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
There you see Moncada way back on the grass with Anderson up the middle on the first base side of second. And the only man home on the left is Yolmer.
Into the night sky in left center field. Engel's on the move, but he's going to leave it to Garcia for out number 3. The Royals get a pair, though, all with 2 out. It's 2-1. taking the lead. Sox with a win tonight will take the series, and will take the season series with a win tonight against Kansas City. And
that's the first time in a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time. And this is the year where the Sox could say, considering how close Kansas City is in the wild card, that they had a big part to play if the Royals don't make the playoffs.
Yeah, this was a most unusual season as it pertains to Sox-Royals head-to-head, because lately the Sox have not been able to win a season series.
Last time was 2010, as Moustakas rifles out Garcia for round number 1 of the 4th. Here's your Sox math answer for today, and your winner is C²12. So 4 total players touch the ball, 21 the positional numbers. Garcia is 9 in right, 2 Narvaez, that's 11, plus the 4 for Moncada, who spun it to shortstop Tim Anderson, 21. So 4 plus 21 is 25, and C²12 is your winner. So 1 down for Davidson, who had one of the 3 hits in the Sox first inning tonight.
He hit the ball hard 3 times last night. An RBI double, a 2-run homer, and then lined out. I mean, lining into a double play was a rocket, but Hosmer was right there. So Matt looked like he was feeling pretty good. He saw the ball very well last night. He does have a base hit his first time up. Let's see if he feels this comfortable tonight.
Into right center field, Davidson drops it in. He's going for 2. Melky was deep in the gap, and Davidson's there with a 1-out double.
This is 4 hits in his last 6 at-bats over the last game and a half, and he gets a hanging breaking ball, takes it into right field, and then realizes that Melky is going away from his throw. So before he can right himself, Matt got about 3 extra steps and made it in uncontested at second base. So good piece of hustle by Matt Davidson, knowing that Melky could not get it, plant, and throw in pretty much 1 step.
43 extra base hits this year for Davidson.
Yeah, this has been a good year for him. He would like to have that batting average up higher, but he's shown that he can take it out any part of the ballpark.
Broken bat, and this is going to third. Davidson is out. We've seen that a bunch of times this year.
Way too many. You're in scoring position anyway, and I think that's what Nick Capra is telling Matt. Okay, so real easy rule of thumb here. And I mean really easy. That's a good pickup, by the way, by Moustakas.
Easy enough that I'm pretty sure where you're going here.
Yeah, anything to your right. Any ball hit to your right, if you're taking a lead off second base, you don't go. And now Rick is talking to him about it. After Nick talked to him about it, and there's a good chance that Matt will not do that again.
And that's what you were talking about, in fact, last night, about Ricky Renteria and his reinforcement of things. He doesn't let things go unsaid and unnoticed generally, and we saw it live right there after Davidson came into the dugout.
What's going to happen is this, and you know, occasionally I feel what might be happening. A couple of years from now, at about this time of year, maybe 3. It's going to be 2 or 3 years, not sure exactly which one. But Rick Renteria is going to win the Manager of the Year. But one of the reasons he's going to win the Manager of the Year 3 years from now, he can look back to this year where all of the foundation was poured, where he and his coaches tirelessly worked with each and every member of this ball club to get them to understand how to play winning baseball. That's why he will be Manager of the Year, but it's going to take a couple of years.
That's off of the pitcher, Duffy, and no pick there for Escobar. So Sanchez on the infield gets to first, and the Sox have 2 on with 2 out, a base hit.
So Yolmer with his first hit. Sometimes the ball will come back and you think it's actually hit harder than it really is. So you're going to put the glove up, and then all of a sudden your timing isn't good, and just a piece of it, Yolmer will take the base hit.
You have to assume it's hit harder simply because of self-preservation, right?
Absolutely, yep.
So here's Garcia, who actually is my pick to click. Just setting it up. It's a big spot if he ends up getting himself a hit. I'll take angle 2.
If he doesn't get one, can we incarcerate you?
Garcia in the air to left field, but playable for Gordon. Or out number 3. I guess I'm going to the Hooskow, huh? Dylan Covey coming out in a 2-1 game.
They're going to finish with a winning record against the Royals at Guaranteed Rate Park. Then you take a look at the longest drought for a plus 500 record against the Sox division rivals, and the Indians back in 2014, and then the Twins and Tigers in 16. But for the Royals, it's been since 2010 since the Sox have won a season series in this ballpark. So that certainly is encouraging. The Royals were just deadly on the ball club for quite some time. Home Field Facts brought to you by Ryan Kelly, thehomeloanexpert.com.
It's a really interesting Royals team because you look at the lineup and not only is it the same guys as yesterday for Ned Yost, but it's the same guys as we've seen for years. I mean, even the Melky Cabrera redo kind of gets the band back together as well. And you wonder what would have happened for this team if they came out of the chute hotter. They were 10-20 to open the year, and you would imagine that if a team that's so used to each other and calls itself brothers, they treat each other like family, if they come out of the chute hotter, they probably just go running and have a great season, wouldn't you say?
Well, I think Kansas City all spring believed that this would be a year where they would not only contend with Cleveland, but maybe eclipse them. That's the hope that most decent teams have. And you know, Kansas City's a decent ball club. They got some good players on this team. Yet they couldn't envision what would happen if Kelvin Herrera was not a lockdown closer like they're used to having. Whether it was Holland or Wade Davis, they had lockdown closers. Kelvin Herrera was not a lockdown closer, although he's had a decent year, but he lost that job to Alexander, and that's been one of the big problems for Kansas City, is a bullpen that is nowhere close to as competent as they've been over the last 5 years.
And you say they've got all these guys that we're familiar with, and the bullpen's changed some, but a lot of those familiar names certainly will not likely be here next season. Eric Hosmer is a free agent.
Kane, Moustakas,
free agent.
I think Escobar. I believe
so.
He is.
Yeah, Escobar's a free agent too.
So Dayton Moore, who's their senior VP of baseball ops and general manager of this team, has done a great job here, and he's got a lot of work this winter.
One down on the ground out from shortstop to shortstop. Sox fans, never too early to lock in a 2018 ticket package. Full and partial ticket plans are available. Take advantage of great benefits like discounted pricing and flexible payment plans. For more information, 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com. And it's perfect timing to mention the 2018 season because the Sox will open on the road against Kansas City.
Kansas City and Toronto, first road trip right out of spring training.
That's a good time to go to Kansas City because it's not going to be likely 130 degrees like sometimes it gets.
No, it's going to be delightful at that time. It could very well be snowing. But bear in mind, the dome in Toronto, it can snow all at once.
That's true. Down the left field line toward the corner, and this ball is up and out. Gordon clears the fence on a ball that looked like it might either twist foul or fall short. It did neither, and the Royals are back on the board.
Gordon hits just his 9th home run. He's now driven in 45, and he goes the opposite way and takes it out. We told you how lively the park was going to be. Here's an example of it, because this is a high change. It's a pitch that Covey would love to have back. That line drive off the back of the bullpen wall, that was actually hit with authority.
There was a chance it was going to get foul off the bat, and it hung around for long enough.
The difference with that is, and hitters can't really determine what they're going to do with the ball when they reach out, take his opposite field. That ball wasn't sliced. That ball was just hit right on the nose. He hit that ball really hard. It didn't sound like it. It didn't look like it, but the ball just kept on going. No slice at all. Otherwise, it probably would have sliced foul.
Ball and a strike on Merrifield. And 1-2. Sox and Royals will play again tomorrow, 1:10 start time. Ian Kennedy and Lucas Giolito, who's been outstanding in 6 starts with the Sox.
In fact, all these 3 young pitchers and everyone who is up here is vying for a spot next year. But look at Giolito, Lopez, and Fulmer. Not every time, but close to it. These guys are going out, putting together quality starts as a group. And Giolito's been probably the best of the bunch.
Swing and a miss for strike 3, and Dylan Covey has his 3rd strikeout tonight. 2 gone. The baseball.
There it is. That happens to be a rubbed up baseball. Take a lot of the shine off it so that hitters can see it better.
Bat and ball together towards Sanchez, and thankfully the ball arrived and the bat didn't. Royals get one of the Gordon homer, 3-1.
White Sox checking and an official White Sox debit card only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/White Sox to learn more. Wintrust Community Bank, member FDIC.
Sox are down 3-1. It's Engel, Anderson, and Moncada coming up in the 5th inning. And that bunt is shoved to first base for out number 1. Join the White Sox Charities Young Professionals Council on Wednesday, September 27th at Behind the Scenes with Bo Jackson. Hear from Bo himself about his career on and off the field. Stick around for the game and networking opportunities with other White Sox fans. Visit whitesox.com/networking for tickets and more info. I know you love a good networking opportunity, trying to build your network.
Every chance I get, whatever network that might be. It's a small network. Very small.
I don't think that's true. You got a big network.
One camera. That's it. No sound.
I don't know that you know what networking is. There's a camera?
Oh, I thought you meant, yeah, I thought you meant like a television network.
Oh, no. Falling a strike on Anderson. I missed you the last 18 hours or so.
You spent a lot of those waking hours in the air.
Waking is the word, yeah. Off speed for a strike, 1-2 for Tim Anderson.
And we talked about Duffy early in the ball game and how much improved that straight change is. And it's a good one. He hasn't thrown that many curveballs these days. He's pretty much gone to the slider and ditched whatever curveball he did have.
On the ground at third. Moustakas at the line, low throw, and he got it there. Hosmer the catch for out number 2. Well, Tim at the top of the card, as we've seen most of the year now, with a left-hander on the mound. He drops down to the 7 position or so with a right-hander pitching. Beautiful night, good crowd on a Saturday evening here at the ballpark.
It is a nice evening. Going to be a very warm day tomorrow.
How hot? I haven't looked.
Low 90s.
Ooh.
Maybe a little warmer. Good for hitters.
Did you really care about the weather forecast when you were pitching? Did you, like, day of game, days leading up, did you eagerly look at the forecast?
Yeah, because you want to know if there's a chance that your warm-up will be delayed. Because for a starting pitcher, that's of vital importance, is getting that routine that you have, that you do the same thing each and every day that you associate with winning, and you follow that pattern. If anything disrupts that, it's not something that any pitcher wants. You have to deal with it. You just don't want it.
What about a helmet Sunday?
Depending on the size of the helmet.
Bruce Bochy?
Look at that. There you go. That is not the Bochy size, however.
Kevin Mench helmet?
Ooh, no.
$92.54. Foul ground, first base side, and Salvi Perez is there for out number 3. To the 6th inning we go. The Royals lead 3-1.
Chicago fans.
Sox are down 3-1. It's Cabrera, Hosmer, and Perez. And that first pitch is slugged to center field. Engel is back, and he is there for out number 1. So Melky, who when we saw him would very often take a first pitch and still will, may have caught by osmosis the Royals penchant for swinging at the first one.
Melky's going to make some contact. He's not an easy guy to strike out. Plus, when you look at his numbers this year, they're pretty much like every other year. He came in 286, 287 lifetime batting average, sitting there comfortably now about 290. But 83 driven in. It's been a good year for Melky.
I know a lot of Sox fans felt pretty strong attachment to that guy, considering his antics in the field.
He's an engaging character who quite obviously loves to play this game, and it comes through each and every day. So if you get a guy that will hustle for you, enjoy the game, show his enjoyment of the game, he's going to fit in very nicely just about anywhere, and Melky will do that.
On the ground and through the shift. Yolmer had a chance at it. Hosmer is on with 1 out in the 6th.
That goes as a base hit. Yolmer, I think, felt he should have made the play, but he didn't. To his left, he has the ball actually go under the glove. So whenever you can get, it's one thing to have it hit off the webbing where you're not quite there, but that one went under probably the first part of the glove. He was there, just didn't make the play.
Double play still in order now to end the inning.
And a perfect man for it.
Salvador Perez. How about that? You said perfect. Is he ever?
Nice talking to you. I'll see you next half inning.
Bring out your tarot cards for the final 3 innings. 3-1 your score. Better Days presented by Footprints to Recovery as the Sox take on the Royals tomorrow 1:10 p.m. A portion of each ticket sold will be donated to Footprints to Recovery Scholarship Fund. Purchase your tickets today at whitesox.com/footprints. Steve and I have some great gifts for you up on the 600 level tomorrow during Fan Appreciation Day to go along with the actual gifts you can win as part of Fan Appreciation Day.
It's going to be hopefully very well attended. It's going to be a beautiful day and plenty of giveaways, as the Sox do truly appreciate each and every person who have come out here and seen what will be a very good team down the road.
Jose with pop-up foul to start this at bat here in the 6th inning. A lot of chances to win prizes at Fan Appreciation Day tomorrow. You can win a Bluetooth speaker. You can win some pizza for a year.
That'd be a good prize.
A suite for 2018 at opening day.
This was number 99. Taking it right back up the middle. Gets his feet tangled in the bat. Was hobbling a bit, but he's come back as Moncada scores, does the honors. He had been walked to second base, which set up the run batted in.
Escobar. Time to quiz Steve on his own career as a player, not a play-by-play announcer. It's called Sticks and Stone. And let's see what we got for you. Which Royal was held hitless by you in the Southside Hitmen season of 1977?
I'm not sure if I ever held George Brett hitless for even an at-bat. Al McRae was a good hitter. I'll take Al Cowens. This is probably a trap, but I will take Al Cowens.
Why do you think it's a trap?
Because you knew I wouldn't pick Brett because he hit everybody. And, well, that's it. So we shall see.
Drum roll, please. There is the left-hander Jace Fry. Fry getting loose. Got Vienna beef and fry. It's a nice combo meal.
Right, and don't forget Wednesdays.
$1 hot dog Wednesday. Should be 50 cents if your last name's a side dish.
Duffy's only thrown 11 pitches out of the zone. Wow, that's pretty remarkable out of the 60 he's used to get to this point. And very economical. And even though he's given up a lot of hits, he hasn't walked anybody.
Struck through the left side, base hit for Garcia with one down in the 6th. I got bad news for Kansas City fans watching this game.
Okay.
Twins have taken a lead on the Tigers at Comerica Park in the top of the 8th inning. It's 6-3 in a 4-run 8th inning.
Minnesota's just sniffing it. They believe they're going to get there, and that's a very good offensive team, even with Sano not entirely healthy.
And the second coming of Paul Molitor, Jorge Polanco.
Yeah, well, against our ball club, that was fairly close to ridiculous, as good as he was swinging it.
Just 7 home runs for the year for Polanco against the Sox.
Absolutely remarkable for a non-home run hitter.
He's in the Ryan Rayburn wing.
Ryan Rayburn with a little more power, surprisingly more power.
Matt has seen Duffy well so far tonight. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty good spot for the fastball. He threw it just barely tipping the outside corner. The only thing Matt could do is foul it off.
Eight runs driven in his last 7 games for Davidson. He's made the most of the chances. He's only hitting 146 in recent days in his last 22 games, but 8 RBI in the last 7. So Davidson trying to move Avi along here in the 6th. Two and two. Fouled away again.
I think one of the reasons why the batting average is where it is. Yeah, Matt had some forearm problems. He was hit. Anytime a hitter has any hand, wrist, sometimes forearm problems, that's going to affect him. It's going to affect him for a while, and I think that's one of the reasons why Matt's batting average is a whole lot lower than he would like. Power numbers are good.
Not saying he did it there, but Danny Duffy does flirt with the balk
Very
quite
close.
a bit.
Yeah, he does. There's no doubt, and he's had one call tonight.
Two balls and two strikes. Fouled away by Davidson one more time. California native Matt Davidson, 26 years old. Playing first base tonight with Abreu DHing. Called strike 3, threaded through to the inside corner. Strikeout number 2 for Duffy. And here is your answer to Sticks and Stone. You chose letter B. As I recall, it was George Brett.
Wow. Surprising.
I like that you're surprised that you held George Brett hitless.
I am.
It's fancy, 0 for 8.
Well, there was a good George Brett story that revolved around him he wasn't a part of, however.
Okay. As a warning, there are 2 out.
Okay, quickly.
I like walking you up to it when it's 2 out, but you're doing it to yourself.
It was opening day, 1981. After the Cy, my parents were at the game. They were going to be presented because I was starting the game. And Earl was sitting with my father on the dugout bench. He said, "You see that guy over there, number 5, that guy?" My dad went, "What guy?" He said, "That guy over there, number 5. Yeah, he said, "That guy's George Brett. You know what he's hitting off your kid?" My dad said, "No." He said, "He's hitting about 400 off your kid. You think you can get him out once today?" So my dad said, "Well, I don't know." So I think George hit a home run that day. But he didn't terrorize me like he normally does.
What did Earl think your dad was going to be able to do for him?
That's a good question. I don't know. Figured he would pose that to him as long as they were sitting there together, all comfy and all.
What a heartfelt message on a big day for your family.
Yeah.
Hey, get that other guy out. Tell your kid. We've checked the annals of history, and George Brett did get a hit.
No home run.
No home run that opening
The
day.
wind must have knocked it down.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Smith.
There's some Royals fans texting to another Royals fan, perhaps.
Could be. Inside 3-2 on Smith, so Avi will run from first with 2 down and a full count. Here's Yolmer, who's next. Three-two. Ball 4. First walk for Duffy. 2 on for the Sox, and Yolmer will bat here in the 6th.
That could turn out to be a very important walk. When you think back to the chronology of this game, just remember that. That might be one of the key factors tonight. Dave Island, who's going to call to the pen.
I thought he was going to call the picks to click
Hotline?
shameless department.
Picks to click hotline? No.
Oh my goodness.
But the pen is starting to stir, and everybody is running for the gloves.
2 on, 2 out. Just walk. number 9 for Kevin Smith this year, and it gives Yolmer a chance.
A critical walk.
Yeah, can I get a little less of Steve in my headset, please? Like 0. Garcia at second, Smith at first, and 0-2 the count.
That was a good fastball. Not easy for left-handers to throw the ball up and in to right-hand hitters, but Duffy got it right where he wanted it. And the pen is starting to stir. It looks like Peter Moylan, because it is. He's going to wind up with in the neighborhood of 80 appearances this year. That is great durability.
0-2. In the air, first base side. Hosmer collects it, and the Sox are through in the 6th inning. 2 stranded. We will play the 7th. Kansas City still up 3-1.
White Sox, Stanley performance in action. That's Stanley. And Jace Fry comes into the ball game. Try to preserve this 2-run deficit.
He's got a couple of left-handers in a row, so maybe he'll get 2 guys here, and there are the numbers.
On for the 8th time. ERA, well, it's an ERA. Well, it's batting average. Kind of a lofty 500. Jace just hadn't had that many opportunities to get it done. He'll have one here. And although Danny Farquhar was loosening up in the pen, he is not throwing the baseball quite yet.
He was in the calisthenics department.
Got to loosen up some. That's a good spot for it. Although on a night like tonight, a little bit hotter than normal for this time of year, you get loosened up pretty quickly.
Fry to Moustakas with strike 1.
There is the helmet Sunday.
Hi, folks. That looks really good.
Ooh,
I'll have 3.
maybe afterward.
But you're not an ice cream guy. You have an intolerance.
True.
Not only for ice cream, just for everything.
Many things, but lactose is one of them.
1-2 on Moustakas from Fry. Sox winners last night 7-6. Breaking ball outside, 2-2. Sox will have 4 with the Angels and then 3 at the Indians, and that'll close up the 2017 season after tomorrow's game with Kansas City. Called strike 3, dotting the corner. Jace Fry strikes out. Moustakas one away.
Good fastball. Kevin wants it low and away, and Jace puts it in the neighborhood. Kevin doesn't have to do much, just move the glove up just a touch to make it look a bit higher than across the plate, but certainly too close to take.
Here's Brandon Moss, who was 0 for 4 last night, 0 for 6 in the series. Don't want to put the cart before the horse, but if Fry gets Moss, as now Smith goes out, but if Fry gets Moss, there's a chance Ricky Renteria might give him the full inning with Escobar in the 3rd spot coming up. 3rd spot in this inning, 8th in the order.
Yeah, if he does get by Moss, I could see him pitching 2 LCDs.
But we won't find out what would have happened in that scenario because Moss is on. We'll find out what happens with Escobar and a runner on base. Hey, Sox fans, join us as the Sox take on the Angels. It's our final home game of the season, Thursday, September 28th, 7:10 p.m. First 10,000 fans get a special fan-designed T-shirt presented by the Village of Bedford Park. Bring your business home to Bedford Park and win big. Get your tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME.
We saw those yesterday, and they are very stylish shirts. Very nice.
That was your first reaction.
Yeah, I liked it yesterday. I like it more today.
You love it more today than yesterday.
Did you sing as a child?
I will recuse myself. I just learned that word from you earlier when you were cheating at some game or something. Down low, a ball to strike on Escobar. Kansas City with 2 runs in the 4th and 1 more in the 5th on the Gordon home run. Sox got on the board in the 1st inning, 3 batters deep. Kansas City with the comeback tonight so far. Into left field and up the alleyway past Garcia. Engel has to go retrieve it, and the ball kicks around the infield. Escobar with a double, 2nd and 3rd, 1 out in the 7th.
So Moss with his first hit of the series, and now Escobar taking this ball in the gap. Nobody could get to it, so 2 runners in scoring position for a guy who's been swinging it very well tonight, and that's Alex Gordon as Albuquerque starts losing in the pen.
So the infield in for the Sox. Not all the way in the middle. Anderson playing back some at shortstop.
Time now for StatCast, powered by AWS, and it's an opposite field home run. Exit velocity at 95.8, launch angle at 27 degrees. Didn't go all that far at 349, but certainly far enough.
It looks like the SS Gaina game in the wild card has left the port for Kansas City tonight, with Minnesota leading now 10-3 in the 8th inning. He did not hold up. That's a strike. And again, Kansas City has 78 losses, so many teams have contributed certainly to Kansas City's not finishing in the wild card running, if that ends up being the case. But the Sox have played spoilers pretty well this year against Kansas City, especially late in the season.
It's the lack of a lockdown bullpen for the Royals.
3 balls and 2 strikes on Gordon. So since August, Sox against the wild card contenders, and there are the numbers. Red Sox got 4 wins. Sox took 3 games from the Twins, 4 from the Royals. We'll see what happens with the Angels.
Jace got lucky because that's ball 4. Gordon had checked it up, but the ball hit the bat and maybe a little piece of his hand. I think he's just expressing to Paul Emmel that that could have been very painful and probably a season ender for Gordon if it hits the finger.
Three balls, 2 strikes from Fry. Sox will have Garcia, Engel, and Anderson coming up in the 7th inning in hopes of a comeback this evening. Don't forget Lucas Giolito on the mound tomorrow. One of your final chances to see him, and it will be your final chance at home to see Giolito before next season. That is inside ball 4. So they're loaded with 1 down for Whit Merrifield, and we'll see if Al Albuquerque.
Oh, I think you could probably take that to the bank. That signal with the left hand by Ricky means that Kevin Smith goes to the mound to talk with him and allow the bullpen a few more pitches. And now here comes Rick. Paul Emmel's going out there to break it up, but he hasn't seen that Rick Renteria is coming.
So Ricky takes the ball, and Albuquerque comes out of the bullpen. 3-1 your score. Bases loaded when we come back.
Hamilton reinstated from the 10-day DL 3 days ago. He had a fractured left thumb. Fortunately, he didn't break a toe because he's the NL stolen base leader. He's got 58 of them. D. Gordon is 2. Trey Turner is 3.
So that's the reason he's fortunate he didn't break a toe?
Yes, the injury report is brought to you by Dr. Anthony Romeo. Funny you should ask. A proud member of the Midwest Orthopedics and Rush.
Ask.
I know. Go to RomeoOrthopedics.com or call 312-432-2342. And we've got a new pitcher in the ball game. It is Al Albuquerque on for the 18th time. He inherits the bases loaded. Looking for a ground ball.
Whit Merrifield takes ball number 1. One ball, one strike.
That is the pitch that has kept Albuquerque in the major leagues for as long as he's been here. He's had a very good slider when he has command of it. Right-handers don't hit him.
Actually, Albuquerque's in AAA. The Isotopes are in the PCL.
Really?
Yeah.
But they moved up.
He did. 1-2 on Merrifield.
2 strikes and 2 sliders. With the bases loaded, hitting an even 250. With 14 driven in.
Launched to left center field in big trouble. Up the alleyway, should be 3 bases for Merrifield. And he will stop at second, but he does get the 3 RBIs, and Kansas City blows it open.
That's 76 driven in for Merrifield, who has just torched Sox pitching. He's been doing this all year long. Now he's averaging over a run batted in per game he's played against our Sox. And this is a hanging slider up in his eyes, and this clears him. Good solid player is the man you're looking at with Merrifield, and he can play just about anywhere.
He fits with what Kansas City does too.
He's got a very high baseball acumen, and anytime you can add those guys to your team, you're helping the ball club.
All those runs, by the way, are property of Jace Fry, so the inherited runners all score against Albuquerque. Left side of the infield, and Sanchez whipping it to first for out number 2. So 4 ground ball outs for Lorenzo Cain today.
Hasn't had the ball out of the infield, so he's not swinging it the way he would like. Lorenzo battling to stay above 300. He came in at 303. The 4 is probably put him at 301 maybe.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Sox last night were down big though, 6-2 with more time remaining as this one goes to third, and Sanchez retires the side. Big hit for Merrifield. Sox have some climbing that they need to do, down 6-1.
Staff for the playoffs. And we'll take a look at Jason Benetti.
That's me.
In his own private plane, Early in the flight, he was lashed to the wing. They allowed him in for the landing.
Yeah, the Twilight Zone guy on the wing.
That was frightening.
Footage by Matt Dahl, by the way. The Sox video crew, Sox TV is just outstanding. But that is, I've never done something like that before. To watch a landing out of the cockpit and see the runway approaching is a pretty neat thing.
It is that.
Especially when you cleanly land on the runway.
When you successfully complete the landing.
Very special.
Yeah, nice.
Willie Garcia takes ball number 1, and I thank you for your viewership of the football game that I did earlier today too. You were watching and updating me. That's very nice of you.
I was kind of surprised, however, that NC State played as well as they played. They played very well in that game.
I actually got a text in the second quarter or so from Carlos Rodon saying, "I hear you talking about my Wolfpack." So he's pretty happy.
Yeah, they played well. 10.5-point dogs, and they wound up winning outright. For those who might want to know what a spread was, perhaps, in a given game on a given day, I mean, it's usually around 10.5. I'm just kind of guessing there.
Look, I just showed up in the second inning, but I think I'm working with Brent Musburger now.
Alexander listening in the pen.
Do you have friends in the desert?
Yes.
3 balls and a strike on Garcia. Now 3-2. I was starting to say when the inning came to an end, the Sox have won 3 times this year after being down 4 or more during the game. This is later than we saw last night, but it's not unprecedented that they might think about coming back.
No, this is the or more, and the one thing they're going to do is grind out the at-bats. They might not be successful, but it's not going to be for lack of confidence or the ability to do it. They all are confident this team can come back from any deficit.
Here's ball 4 and a good start for Willie Garcia here in the 7th. MLB.com At Bat is your #1 mobile app for live White Sox baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get White Sox home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com At Bat today. Keep updated even in the offseason on the Major League Baseball news, trades going on at the winter meetings, things of that nature, and then very quickly it'll be Sox Fest time.
It seems to roll around very quickly. Season ends, then there's a couple of very important days. You have Halloween, you have Thanksgiving, you have Christmas, and almost immediately it's time to check on the prospects of the White Sox for next year, and that's what Sox Fest is all about.
Hawkeyes are up 7-3, by the way. There's Josie Jewell,
linebacker.
Yeah,
You did an Iowa game earlier.
I did. That was not the MLB.com app. However, the sports app structure is very powerful right now. You can watch games anywhere, anytime, whenever you want, wherever you want, and there's none better than MLB, the app, the At Bat app. What you got? People want to know, Penn State or Iowa?
I would think, even though they're down, Penn State would come back together. Then again, I picked the South in the Civil War, so don't go by me.
What? Did you at least get 5.5? 3-1. Fouled away over the net. 3-2 on Angle.
Duffy about ready to deliver pitch number 89, which is a fairly low total into the 7th inning.
Garcia at first, 3-2. Scorched on the ground, base hit. 2 on, nobody out. And a rally is bubbling yet again in the late innings here at Guaranteed Rate Field.
And that is going to be it for Duffy, as Ned Yost will make the long, slow trip to the mound. He is not pointed yet. All he did was look at Paul Emmel. Now he makes the motion to the pen, and so that will be indeed it, as Moylan will come in, Duffy will stroll out, so will we, and we'll be back.
All levels of Guaranteed Rate Field. The space features batting and pitching cages, base running areas, and skill instruction from Chicago White Sox Training Academy coaches. Check out the latest Xfinity technology, including the X1 platform, X1 by Xfinity. It'll change the way you experience TV, and George Jacobs jacket.
Peter Moylan comes in the game on for the 76th time. Does not have a record, which is somewhat unbelievable. He does have a 3.59 ERA. Moylan's batting average at 189. That's outstanding.
Righty with Anderson, who gets hit, and now the bases are loaded with nobody out.
Tim had a couple of words with Moylan, but this is a sidearm breaking ball. He certainly is not going to hit him in the posterior with a sidearm breaking ball.
Well, Tim got hit by a breaking ball that was wayward last night as well, so now they're piling up in his own mind.
Well,
it's going to be it for Moylan.
He'll get an appearance, and that's it. So as Alexander comes in and Moylan walks out, we will step out. We'll be back. whose ERA is 2.59. That's best among Major League rookie pitchers. 4-4 record. Been called on to save 6 games. Been successful 4 times. This is his first shot at closing, and he inherits a big problem. Bases loaded, nobody out, and the heart of the order coming up. This particular rally has been characteristic of what the Sox have done. They will come up short on occasion, but it's not for lack of effort, as this team will grind it out with you the entire way.
Yoan Moncada, who's 1 for 3 with the run scored in the first. Chopper foul, 0-1.
Alexander's stuff is not comparable to a whole lot of lockdown closers in that he's a sinker baller. He's not going to throw that 97-mile-an-hour fastball by you, but he will throw a lot of ground balls, and that's what Ned Yost is looking for.
Oh, 0-1. Ball and a strike on Moncada. If the flickering playoff hopes for Kansas City are still somewhat available, the light might go dark completely with a loss tonight.
Long way to come back for the ball club, but they got the right guys in the right spot.
1-2 on Moncada with Abreu on deck. Alexander glares in. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You got to make Alexander get the ball up, because left to his own devices, he's going to throw it calf high all night long. You're going to hit a lot of ground balls. So good speed on the bases.
Strike 3. Big first out for Alexander, and now Abreu with RBI number 100 in front of him.
We told you how good a sinker that is. It's not exactly Zach Britton good, but it's very good. Jose looking for triple digits.
How about doing it with a flourish? Gapper. Something above the gap.
Yeah, I'd like to see 30-second home run. With the bases loaded, he's been unbelievable. 378. A whole lot of folks ready to capture RBI number 100. And maybe a little more.
1-0. On the ground to third base. Moustakas to first. And that is all he'll get. So Abreu drives in number 100 with a ground ball. And for 4 straight years to open his career, Jose Abreu has 25 home runs or more and 100 RBIs, joining only Albert Pujols and Joe DiMaggio. Congratulations, Jose Abreu.
It's just a wonderful accomplishment. And you can see DiMaggio, Pujols, and Jose Abreu. It's pretty amazing. And what was amazing about that particular ground ball is Moustakas did not come home. That's an easy force out. He looked a couple different places and didn't think about coming home with it. And Jose got number 100.
Very important in baseball history, certainly, and his teammates know exactly what's going on.
Jose, a very popular player. Shown great leadership this year.
0-2 on Avi Garcia.
Our Mazda replay cam is a little chopper to the left side. And when Moustakas came up with it, watch what he does. Looks at second, looks at first, doesn't look at home. Got him by plenty at first, but second run of the night scored. More importantly, it's 100 driven in for the big man.
Oh, 2. It's just remarkable consistency for Jose Abreu, and I know everyone here in Chicago knows exactly what they're watching in terms of his consistency and his demeanor and what he means to this lineup. But boy, that historical context is pretty amazing as Avi goes down swinging and the inning's over. But Jose Abreu carves his name into the baseball record book, 6-2 after 7.
Been all Royals so far. Hits tied at 8. The Royals lead 6-2. Anderson moved his streak to 14 games. And Abreu with number 100 on the runs batted in. Great deals are waiting for you now at your local Honda dealer. And David Holmberg comes in the ball game.
Al Albuquerque, 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit. The 3 inherited runners scored.
On for the 36th time, split between the bullpen and the starting rotation for David Holmberg.
For Hosmer, by the way, this is, according to Fangraphs, wins above replacement, his best season. He's a 4-win player this year for Kansas City. He's scored 93 runs this year.
Been a wonderful year, hitting consistently over 300. He has that batting average up to 321 with his 1 for 2 today.
Just sliced it foul, still 1-2. I mean, he'd had a couple pretty good years, 3.5 wins in 2015, 3.2 in 2013. But this, according to that number at least, is his best season so far.
He also, when you factor in his contribution to the ball club, you have to factor in that glove because it's among the best around.
That that number certainly does. Defense is part of wins above replacement.
He's only committed 3 errors this year in 154 games. That's pretty amazing when you consider how involved the first baseman is on just about each and every play.
Two balls and 2 strikes turned to 3-2 a short while ago, and the foul ball. So 3-2 is, well, that was 2-2. I had it at 2-2, and everybody else had it 3-2. So now it's 3-2. I thought I was crazy.
Well,
thank you.
Don't kid yourself,
please.
Oh, I didn't know that that's what you meant.
Up the middle, long run for Tim, and safe.
Hosmer beats it. Good effort by Anderson, but we told you about deceptive speed from Hosmer. Trying to get as much as he can on it, but appears he beat the play at first. So it's the second hit of the night. Hosmer now 2 for 3.
3 out of 7 in the series, and 21 for 62 on the year against the Sox. Well, last time he was up, you asked for a double play, and he said he was perfect.
He was a perfect man for it. The Giga-Time high-speed replay is powered by Xfinity, and here's a ringing double. Drove one home in the 4th inning. And at the time, it tied the game and 1.
That one spiked and gets away from Smith. Hosmer to second base on the wild pitch.
By the way, Xfinity delivers the fastest internet and the most Wi-Fi coverage throughout your home. Our Giga-Time high-speed replay. And this one got away. He buried it down. It just skipped by Kevin Smith. Now a new set of signs with a man at second base.
Two 2-0 from Holmberg to Perez. Top of the 8th inning, the Royals with a 3-run 7th. Yanked foul over the dugout, 2-1. Kansas City, to close the year, has the one wild game at New York that they've got to make up coming up on Monday. Then 3 with Detroit and 3 with Arizona. Kauffman Stadium. 2-2 on Perez.
If they realized that they would be right there in the race, and I'm not sure they're going to be by the time the final 3 end, but that's not a team you want to face with the playoffs on the line, because the Diamondbacks have some thunder in that lineup, and the pitching's been pretty good. Arizona's had a nice year.
Whoever wins that second wild card spot in the National League is going to have its hands full, as the Sox do, with a pretty similar double from Perez on the way. It scores Hosmer, and it's 7-2 Kansas City.
2 RBI doubles for Perez. That one his 24th. He now has driven in 78 runs. He just reaches down, takes this one basically off the ground, and crushes it to left field. That is a very big, strong man.
I was just going to say the same thing. He is such a strong guy.
Well, to catch as much as he does in the heat of Kansas City in the summertime, you've got to be a strong guy.
And he doesn't want to come out of the lineup.
Left to his own devices, he would literally catch every day.
Strike 1 to Moustakas. Mike Moustakas with an RBI in the 4th inning. Ground out to short and a strikeout looking. Strikeout came against Jace Fry in the 7th. That was not close.
Good high fastball. That's exactly where you want to keep it to both Moustakas and Moss. Moss coming up next also has a hard time with high fastballs.
But when they both connect, look out.
Yeah, a couple of strong guys.
Brandon Moss, former 30 home run guy with Oakland back in 2013. Moustakas first on 2-2, and he lays off. Three balls, 2 strikes. Popped it up back of home and foul.
Moustakas had 25 home runs before the All-Star break. That set the all-time Kansas City record. And then he needed 12 more, and he got him to set the all-time season record in home runs.
There's ball 4, 2 on, nobody out for the Sox. Left-hander Holmberg here in the 8th inning. And so Moss will bat. Third walk for Sox pitching so far tonight. If you missed it, Jose Abreu with his 100th RBI in the game.
Pretty impressive what he's done in just 4 short years. Interesting part about the situation for Jose is that in that first year, you could make a case for the fact that, well, nobody had seen him, and yeah, you could see video of him, but you really can't see him very much, so he snuck up on a few people. That might have been okay for the first 4 months. But then the league makes adjustments, as they did with Jose and every other hitter. It's up to him then to make the changes, and he continues to evolve and continues to get better.
Much to the dismay of American League pitchers. Now 3 balls and no strikes on Moss. Holmberg struggling with his command here in the 8th.
You would think Ned Yost would say, go ahead and hit it. 3-0.
Ground ball foul. 3-1. He was swinging.
He was. No reason not to. Might be the best pitch you see in the sequence.
What a triple play.
Do you mind the numbers?
No.
Okay.
That won't do it. Into left field and down off the wall for Brandon Moss. Perez comes home. It's an RBI double for Moss, and the Royals add to their lead at 8-2 now.
That's RBI number 50 for Moss. That's a fastball down, and Moss stays right with it. Again, anything down to him is just not good, but David fell way behind and had to just throw strikes. This one sliced away from Willie, and because of that, they put Escobar at first base to load him up for Gordon.
Got the lefty-lefty matchup if Ricky Renteria cares to use it. Chris Beck getting loose. So it's Gordon with the bases loaded. Did you miss the intentional walk?
No.
Not at all.
No, not at all. There's a few more I'd like to see rearranged also, but that was one of them. That speeds things up just a touch.
A few other rules.
Yeah.
Which ones?
Well, we talked about one. We've talked about that with not having an 18-man bullpen in September.
Yeah.
Having to declare 25 men who are eligible on a given night, even if you've expanded to 40.
Somebody just wrote a column saying, essentially, why do we still have this? What's the point of it? And certainly there are guys who get opportunities, but you can, we've talked about this, you can be up here and not be active.
Or be available to be active on a given night maybe once out of 4 or 5 times. There's nothing wrong with that. And I know they're going to address a whole lot of things as they usually do. And we'll see some changes. We'll see some changes to the replay review. There's some things that don't make a great deal of sense, like if the play is in front of the umpire, you can't challenge it. It makes no sense.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Gordon. Yeah, that one, whether it's for jurisdiction for the umpires or whatever, we've seen enough plays that should have, would have, or could have been reviewed that one's likely coming.
And there's one more that I would like to see an adjustment on that play at the plate.
That one pops out of the glove, but does fall at strike 3. So 1 down here in the 8th. And we have a pitching change. Holmberg will leave, and Merrifield will bat.
So this is Chris Beck's return trip to the mound, and we're going to take a look at Jason's return trip from Tallahassee to this very ballpark. You can tell it's very cool there. Jason with his jacket and tie on, so it has to be what, the 60s?
This is me talking to you on the phone.
Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me?
Yeah, we staged that. I was talking to you on the phone.
Oh man, really?
You didn't know it was staged. But
No, I didn't. Did you warn me?
No.
Oh, there you go. You can't use it then.
And here is me leaving the plane. Here is me leaving.
Here we go.
Here's me watching the
Second
game.
inning.
Your play-by-play.
Game 3 of 3 in 23 hours.
And there you go.
Pretty wild.
And I'm here.
And here you are.
How
And,
about that?
and here is Chris Beck. Both returning on the same night, on for the 54th time. He's 2-1. His ERA 6.67. Opponent's batting average 2.92. And he's got to deal with the top of the lineup. And a red-hot Whit Merrifield, who finds a way somehow to drive runs in consistently against Sox pitchers.
I do have to say, and we've been joking around about it, you know, I was in Florida, and only because the White Sox were so gracious to say, go ahead, let's see what happens, have a little fun, and I appreciated Brooks Boyer and Bob Grimm and Scott Reifert and everybody here at the White Sox, the Polk City ESPN2, my other employer, for letting me have a little bit of a crazy day, and to you for picking up the slack on the play-by-play. I had planned to be here at the outset today.
Oh, a likely story.
No, I did.
I was shocked you got here then, but you did a great job today in watching the game, and
Thanks.
it was very nice of everybody associated with the White Sox to allow you to make that happen. It's something that you'll never forget.
You only get to do this once, right?
You'll probably do it a couple more times.
No, the life thing.
Oh, that?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I was going to bring you a trinket back from Tallahassee, but
Trinkets are nice.
I left it in the booth.
Oh, no.
The snow globe melted. Sorry. Back to Merrifield for strike 1.
Our fourth drive of the game came off the bat of the aforementioned Whit Merrifield. He came up with the bases loaded. He then unloaded them, driving in 3. Visit your local Ford store, buyfordnow.com.
That was very likely the put-away moment of tonight's game. Merrifield's double. But we'll see.
Sox had a pretty good chance in the 7th, but could scratch across just 1 run. There was a golden opportunity to get back into this one. And now the Royals have added to their lead again.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Merrifield with Kane next. And there are Moustakas, Moss, and Escobar lining the bases for Kansas City. On 1 and 2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Back to Merrifield. He got him swinging, strike 3, 2 down.
Throws a good slider and wipes him out with it as this one just sinks out of the zone. So Merrifield with his 3rd strikeout to go with his 3 runs driven in.
Royals in this inning with 3 hits, 2 walks, 1 intentional. And now back-to-back strikeouts to bring up Kane. One ball and 1 strike. Sox open play today, jumping out of 5th place in the Central. Caught the Tigers, who lost earlier to Minnesota, certainly not helping the fortunes of this Kansas City side. Trying to track down the Twins in the wild card race. Best the Royals can do is stay even with the Twins from where they started today. For the final. Irvin Santana got the win for Minnesota. Cleveland won again, 3 wins away from 100 with that victory.
And Cleveland is doing everything they can to have the best record in the American League and defend with their home park all the way through the playoffs that they stay in it.
2 and 2.
Houston's doing the best they can. Houston has won 8 of their last 10 games, and yet they keep on losing ground trying to catch the Indians, who have been very content to keep on winning.
Houston did win today, beating the Angels, and now the Angels are a half game back currently of Texas. In that wild card hunt, the Rangers are down 1-0 early to Oakland today. And that is just a sinking ship. Everyone is in the wild card race other than Minnesota and the Yankees. Three and 2. Sprayed foul.
That just missed Melky. He's breathing a sigh of relief as that would have done a little damage to the milkman.
Melky says forget about
I'm not standing up there.
Contact circle.
Somebody else up there. He's not going to hit. I've been around too long, says Melky, to be standing up there. Attacked like a pinata.
He's given up the on deck circle. 3 and 2. Fouled away. See if he comes back out. I don't think he's gonna.
Nope. He is entrenched with protection. He needs some protection.
Going to get stretched and limbered up and do it under the cover of that roof. He said no thanks. I'm out. Beck was ready. Smith was standing up.
That would have surprised him.
Three and two. He got him for strike three. Couple of good sliders from Beck in the sequence. Kansas City adds to the lead, though, at 8-2.
A new pitcher coming in the ball game. It is Kelvin Herrera. So we saw him in last night's game. He pitched an inning. He's on for the 61st time. 3-3 mark. 4.55 ERA.
Steve, this day in baseball history in 1949, before the Cleveland game, Bill Veeck and a few players held funeral services to bury the 1948 pennant.
Well, they probably had a decent idea that they weren't going to get another for a bit.
They had actually been eliminated the day before.
Ah, okay.
So, a melancholy day in your home area.
1948, they won it all. And that was the last time they won it all.
Herrera to Davidson for ball one. Fan Appreciation Day tomorrow, 1:10 start time. Sox and Royals in the finale. Hope you can join us for that, whether it be over CSN or here at the ballpark, so we can appreciate you, the fan. Lucas Giolito to start that game. ERA sub 3 for the Sox. The Royals have made what they call in the biz wholesale changes defensively. We'll get to them when we have about 3 minutes or so to spare. Chesler Cuthbert is into third. Drew Butera is now catching. Jorge Bonifacio is in right field, and Paulo Orlando is in center. Where this ball goes. We're on number one.
Matt hit that ball awfully hard, but it was right at Orlando.
The one down for Smith. in the 8th. Danny Duffy, the starter for Kansas City, 6 innings plus, just 1 earned run. He is in line for the win this lovely late summer evening. And of course, by the new collective bargaining agreement, when you enter the game as a substitution, you have to have your name over your head for at least 2 innings to show the crowd who you are.
And there it is.
Don't know why they negotiated that in, but it's very nice for the fans. A little cumbersome when you're in the game for a couple innings, but no, it's all for the fans. Two strikes on Smith. Yolmer Sanchez is next. It's fouled away by Kevin.
Tried to throw that 99 or 100-mile-an-hour fastball by him, but Kevin was able to spoil it and keep the at-bat alive.
Here's Yolmer braving the on-deck circle, which is not really a circle, it's just the on-deck vicinity.
Kevin would have to do quite a job to get Yolmer. To somehow foul it behind him and then chase Yolmer around as he's swinging a bat.
There's strike 3, 2 down. Like the Keith Hernandez episode of Seinfeld. He takes a right turn. One magic foul ball. 2 gone in the 8th.
Yolmer with a hit tonight.
Cody Bellinger earlier this year said he didn't know who Jerry Seinfeld was. That makes you feel very old, doesn't it?
Well, what's Cody, 12?
He's a little older than not Joe Nuxhall.
Joe was 15 when he pitched in the major leagues. I'm thinking we're not going to see that anytime soon.
You don't think that's a record that'll be broken?
I don't think we'll see that.
In fact, Cal Ripken Jr.'s streak is great and all. I think if you're picking a record that will never be broken, I would say it's the Joe Nuxhall 15-year-old major leaguer thing.
Yeah, unless you want to suit up that little person.
There's a hat. Start. Brushed on the ground, back to the mound. Herrera for a 1-2-3 inning. We will go to the 9th. Kansas City with a big lead tonight.
plays, and it's 2 plays in the first inning by Juan Moncada. Here he goes up the middle, flicks it across in plenty of time, and another good effort gets him out, part of a 1-2-3 first inning. When you think of garages, think Danley's 7-7-3 garages.
Easy as that.
all
Or
you
hit
do.
Bonifacio. Strike 1. 7-7-3 garages, right?
That's it. Rob Brandley checks in the game behind the plate.
Hit for Kevin Smith. It looks as though, and this game's not over, but it looks as though tomorrow is going to be the ultra rubber match between the Sox and Royals. If Kansas City wins tonight, that'll put the season series at 9-9. So to the victor goes the spoils tomorrow, likely.
It'll be the first time since 2010 the Sox were able to take a season series from these Kansas Cities.
One down for Hosmer.
Time now for the State Farm winning combination is Perez with a couple of doubles, and both times he drove in Eric Hosmer. Hence the winning combination. At least he's working for the Royals tonight. State Farm, here to help life go right.
Life has gone right for the Royals. Despite the Sox success against left-handed pitching this year, Duffy starts the game. The Sox just didn't solve him for runs tonight. There were hits all over the board, but not runs other than the first inning.
He came in against the Sox 0-3 with an ERA of close to 10 this year. So although Danny Duffy had handled the Sox pretty well in years past, this year was a disaster for him, but not tonight. Tonight he threw it pretty well.
Three 3-0 for Beck. Hosmer takes. Eric Hosmer out of American Heritage High School, the athletics powerhouse down in Florida. High into the sky, left center field. 2 down.
So Bonifacio getting his first at bat of the night.
He'll face back with 2 down. And that one grounded foul.
And one found its way into the Sox dugout.
(8-2) Kansas City, and he does not decide to take a rip at it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now 1-2, so Orlando the ground out, Hosmer the fly out, and now Bonifacio. 1-2. Ball smashed to left field and should be extra bases off the Stanley side. It is a 2-out double for Bonifacio.
He hit that ball very hard. So this is Perez's spot in the batting order. It's yielded 3 doubles tonight, 2 by Salvi and now 1 by Bonifacio. He drives this ball 1 hop against the wall.
Emilio's brother, Jorge Bonifacio. Not the same type of player. Some talent there. When he first came up, the Royals, and they still are, they still do like him, but our first thought was, oh my gosh, he can hit the ball too.
Yeah, he's very strong. So Bonifacio's future is going to really depend on how many of the free agents Dayton Moore either wants to or has a desire and the economic flexibility to re-sign. That could open the door for Jorge. It looks like he's got some skills. Certainly big and strong enough. We know that.
2 balls, no strikes. Chesler Cuthbert, a native of Corn Island, Nicaragua. Tiny island. 2-1. He's got quite the jewelry landscape going on there. And now they're gone. They got entangled for a moment. There's 2 pieces of jewelry there. Two balls and a strike from Beck.
Cuthbert's a very good defender at third base, and there's a chance that, assuming that Moustakas does find someplace else to play, and that is not determined at this point, but if they do, Cuthbert will probably have the first shot at third base.
Dance. Two and 2. There's a swing and a miss for strike 3. Inning over. We'll play bottom 9. 8-2 your score.
At the bottom of the 9th inning, trailing by 6. That is Brendan Maurer. Hard throwing right-hander. On for the 67th time. This has not been a particularly good year, although 22 for 26 in saves is not bad. Opponent's batting average up close to 300 with an ERA of 6.5. He's been touched up a bit this year.
Came over from the Padres along with Cahill. among others. Ryan Buchter, who we saw out of the bullpen last night.
And Nicky Delmonico to lead it off.
Nicky will hit for Willie Garcia and take ball number 1. Right back to the mound, and Mauer for out number 1.
Nice piece of defending your position as Alan Hansen comes on to pinch hit.
Come in for Engel, who was 1 for 3. Close and called a ball. So tomorrow 1:10, Sox and Royals, Lucas Giolito versus Ian Kennedy, your starting pitching matchup. Good breaking ball, 1-1.
Mauer has always had really excellent stuff. Just been, for his career, a question of him being able to command it. Because when he gets in the zone, he is difficult to hit.
Fouled away, 1-2 on Hansen. Tim Anderson next for the Sox, who had the lead 1-0 in this game. Then Kansas City scored 6 unanswered and 2 more in the 8th. Try to put a lid on this game number 2 in the series. 1-2. High fastball at 99, 2 away. You weren't kidding about this stuff, eh?
No, he's got a great arm. High fastball right by Allen.
Two down for Tim Anderson, who's been hit by a pitch in each of the last 2 games and has extended his hit streak to a career long now 14 with a single in the 3rd. On the ground, this should do it. And the Royals have won game number 2 in this series. A split for the first 2 and a rubber match coming tomorrow. Kansas City trying to stay alive in the wild card race. Minnesota won as well today, so 4.5 for Kansas City is the deficit right now. Sox will try to stand in the way tomorrow. We'll wrap it up after this from Guaranteed Rate Field.